Welcome to the 82nd Airborne Division Retirement Ceremony. Today, the ceremonial unit is 2nd Battalion Airborne 321st Field Artillery Regiment, commanded by Lieutenant Colonel Jason J. Jones, with Command Sergeant Major John P. Conliff. The reviewing officer is Colonel Timothy F. Watson, the 4th Brigade Combat Team Commander. To your left is the 82nd Airborne Division Band, led by Sergeant First Class Anderson. The drum major for today's ceremony is Sergeant Johnson. Please direct your attention to the far left of the formation as the adjutant begins today's ceremony.
Attention! Battery! Attention! Battery! Attention! Battery! Attention! Down, adjutant's call!
The custom of sound off dates back to the time of the Crusades. At that time, when armies were sent on distant campaigns, it was the custom to assemble the garrison in formation. The band would then honor the departing troops by marching past them, much in the same manner as you are seeing being done now. The 3 chords played both before and after the march are symbolic of the 3 cheers from the crowds that gathered to farewell the departing warriors. At this time, the commander of troops and his staff are taking their positions. The adjutant will report that the command is formed and will assume his position with the staff.
Bring your unit to alarm! Fire! And air! Hard! Sir, the colors are present.
Yes, man.
Bring your units to present arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
Detachment! Present! Halt!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, order, halt! Bring your units to order in parade rest.
When a soldier serves, so does the family. The family endures many moves, separations, and periods of uncommon stress. A married soldier cannot remain happy and cannot succeed during a career without the love and support of his spouse and family. At this time, the spouses of today's retirees are joining them on the parade field. Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Timothy F. Watson will now honor the retirees and their spouses. The Legion of Merit and a United States flag are being presented to Sergeant Major William B. Holbrook. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Mrs. Susie Holbrook, on the occasion of the retirement of her husband from active status with the United States Army, has earned grateful appreciation for her own unselfish, faithful, and devoted service. Her unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Signed, John W. Nicholson, Major General, United States Army, 82nd Airborne Division Commander. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Chief Warrant Officer Darrell Krim. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Katrin Krim. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Master Sergeant Mark E. D'Amato, Jr. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Susan K. D'Amato. Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Master Sergeant Rodney Harrington. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Tina L. Harrington. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Mark R. Mendoza. The Meritorious Service Medal and the United States flag are being presented to Master Sergeant Kevin E. Ricks. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Marcella L. Ricks. Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Sergeant First Class Carlos T. Bamberger. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Susie Bamberger. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Sergeant First Class Nathan D. Perry. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Lori L. Perry. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Staff Sergeant Atalia P. Borden. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Joanne E. Borden. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Staff Sergeant Mark C. Squires. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Christina L. Squires. The Meritorious Service Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Sergeant William J. Fox. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Regina Fox. The Army Commendation Medal and a United States flag are being presented to Sergeant First Class Popo T. Tamua. The Department of the Army Certificate of Appreciation is presented to Mrs. Denise D. Tamua. Ladies and gentlemen, today's reviewing officer, Colonel Timothy F. Watson, the commander of the 4th Brigade Combat Team.
General Flynn, fellow commanders, command sergeant majors, friends, families of the 82nd Airborne Division, and above all, paratroopers to be honored today, on behalf of the commanding general, Major General Nicholson, thank you for attending this ceremony. This morning, many of us were at the 82nd Sustainment Brigade Chain of Command, and we're sure glad the sun has come out and it's warmed up, because it's a pretty chilly spring day in beautiful Carolina. Before I address our distinguished retirees, I would like to take a moment to thank those who have worked hard to make this ceremony so special today. On the field in front of you today are the paratroopers of the 2nd Battalion, 321st Airborne Field Artillery Regiment, the professionals. You look tremendous, and your professionalism gives great honor to our retiring troopers. And we should also recognize the members of the 82nd Division Band. As always, you had class, so let's give them all a round of applause. The distinctive red and blue All-American 82nd insignia that stands at the rear of the parade field is one that is renowned and immortalized throughout the U.S. military, the nation, and the world. As America's Guard of Honor, we represent but a small but crucial element of America's military power. The 82nd Airborne Division earned this name through the leadership and sacrifice of men like those that are retiring today. Men such as First Sergeant Funk, who not only earned the Medal of Honor, but the Distinguished Service Cross, the Silver Star, the Bronze Star, and 3 Purple Hearts for his actions in World War II. First Sergeant Funk inspired the assuredness, the boldness, and the resolve that defined our paratroopers. And it is this courageous spirit that we are gathered here today to recognize in the service and sacrifice of the retirees seated before you. The warriors on the parade field epitomize all the attributes that represent America's Guard of Honor. They joined the Army at the end of the Cold War. They witnessed the fall of the Berlin Wall and a change in the world. They liberated Kuwait from the Iraqi invasion. They established peace in the Balkans. And then when America was attacked on 9/11, they stood ready to meet the challenge and uncertainty of this global war on terrorism that has brought us more than a decade of continuous combat operations unknown in American history. Today we honor these 13 members of America Guard of Honor as they depart our ranks, but they will forever be paratroopers for life. Collectively, these paratroopers for life represent almost 300 years of military service, with 115 of those years served with 82nd Airborne Division, and nearly 50 years of participation in combat operations ranging from Operation Urgent Fury in a place called Grenada, which many of you were too young to remember, Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm, Somalia, yes, that's from Black Hawk Down, for those that are also too young to remember that, Bosnia, Kosovo, the Philippines, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and Operation Enduring Freedom. They have a combined total of over 800 jumps, including 42 halo jumps. They've held a variety of positions, from machine gunner on an M1151 Jeep, also can be located in the museum, supply sergeant, motor sergeant, intelligence analyst, team chief, Pathfinder ops, first sergeant, food operations NCO, S4 NCOIC, SFAT deputy chief, battalion ops sergeant major, brigade ops sergeant major. The fact is, these men have done it all. They've been there. But it's not just these figures and accomplishments, impressive as they are, that we celebrate today. It is the enduring legacy of these leaders that lives on in the countless soldiers that they have trained, mentored, and inspired. The Army is a better place and a better fighting force because of their contributions. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for these 13 great All-Americans. Lastly, we must admit and acknowledge that the paratrooper is only half of the story. Standing beside each of these distinguished honorees were their families, their friends that have supported and encouraged them throughout the past 20 or more years of service. Each honoree represents a father, a sibling, or a spouse, and it is these families that have stood with their service members and followed them from post to post, state to state, and sometimes continent to continent. It's just as soldiers serve, families serve as well. They are their spouses, parents, sons, and daughters that endured multiple training exercises and all too frequent long deployments into harm's way. They are vital and unsung heroes, and let me express the gratitude of a grateful nation for all these families have done as well. Let's give them a round of applause. To our retiring paratroopers for life, as you walk off the field today, understand that you'll be challenged by your paths beyond the Army. But I am confident that you will face each challenge as you have during the past 20 years as a paratrooper. For we embrace these challenges and continually seek success. I pray that you have fair skies like today, lighter winds, of course, and soft landings wherever they take you. On behalf of the 82nd Airborne Division, the United States Army, and a proud and grateful nation, I salute you, good luck, and Godspeed. Airborne, all the way, free from the sky.
Detachment! Post! March!
Now approaching the reviewing stand is Colonel Jason J. Jones from Uricksville, Ohio, and his staff.
Airborne!
Next is the 82nd Airborne Division Band, led by Sergeant First Class Anderson from Longview, Texas, with Drum Major Sergeant Johnson from Tallahassee, Florida. Now approaching the reviewing stand is Headquarters and Headquarters Battery, commanded by Captain Bernardo M. Jones from Laurel, Maryland, with First Sergeant George A. Martinez III from Temple, Texas. Now approaching the reviewing stand is Alpha Battery, commanded by Captain Philip L. Turner from Fort Knox, Kentucky, with First Sergeant David A. Dean from Augusta, West Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the passing of the national colors, led by Command Sergeant Major John P. Conliff from Albany, New York. Now approaching the reviewing stand is Bravo Battery, commanded by Captain Samuel S. Gilstrap from Pickens, South Carolina, with First Sergeant Lorenzo R. Carter from Sumter, South Carolina. Now approaching the reviewing stand is Golf Company, commanded by Captain Matthew D. Ferretti from Easton, Pennsylvania, with First Sergeant Melvin C. Cox from Thomasville, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Old Troopers Never Die, all flag sign, the All-American Soldier, and the Army Song.
Old troopers never die, never die, never die. Old troopers never die. They just slip away. They just slip away. They just slip away.
Sir, this concludes today's ceremony.
Good job, thanks, Jason.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. Please allow time for the retirees to move to the parade tent for the cutting of the ceremony.